Stored Tech provides managed IT services you can trust. That means more than being a phone call away when something breaks. Behind the scenes, Stored Tech remotely monitors and safeguards your organization from potential issues that may arise. Our support desk is available 24/7 to help boost your staff's productivity. Best of all, no contracts are required. Interested in learning more about why businesses are partnering with Stored Tech? Call to schedule a free consultation today.
Welcome, everybody. This is a regular town board meeting. It's March 6, 2023, 7 p.m. Would you all please rise and join Council President Jimmy and say the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and the first we have is a public hearing. Would you introduce to the public hearing, please, Betty?
Public hearing, West Plains Falls Volunteer Fire Company, Inc. proposing to purchase 2023 BME Freightliner 2,000-gallon engine tanker truck to use of tax-exempt financing.
Okay, so this is one, to purchase the truck, and two, it's for tax-free financing for that purchase. There is a public hearing on that, so let me introduce a little bit more information to you. This will be a 2023 BME Freightliner 2,000-gallon engine tanker truck to replace a 1993 Ford KME 1,800-gallon tanker with approximately 14,000 miles for a sum not to exceed $378,799. This purchase of the 2023 BME Freightliner 2,000-gallon engine tanker truck is part of its 5-year plan. So they got a pretty good deal on this because the other ones are a lot more than this. And the way they want to finance it is $178,799 from funds in its current budget, and $200,000 maximum amount tax-exempt financing for a 60-month term with NBT Bank. And so there is a public hearing on this tonight. I'll open the public hearing for any member of the public that wishes to ask questions, and there are 3 members of West Plains Falls Volunteer Fire Company here tonight to help us respond to any of the public's queries. All right. Any town board?
Yeah.
Yes, George?
Can representative come up?
So you got the current chief, and you can put another chair there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going.
The past chief and the budget officer. Please introduce yourselves for the record, please.
Chief Tyson Converse.
Past Chief Jeff Daly.
Lieutenant Will Becker, Budget Officer.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for coming.
I
George?
just did that because you thought you better get away from having to come up here. So I'm impressed with the fact you had a truck that's 30 years old with 14,000 miles, but I realize that these things are in service constantly. Do you have any idea what you're going to get in on trade-in? And I imagine you won't know it because it's going to be to the end of the year that you'll be using it.
So as far as trade-in purposes, we did reach out to the manufacturer who we're purchasing this truck from, and we are better off selling it outright than we are trade-in purposes.
Okay.
Because the market out there, obviously everybody's coming up for their budget. I'm sorry for speaking ahead of this, but everybody knows for their budget that trucks right now are out of this world.
Mm-hmm.
So even used trucks, pricing is. So the manufacturers that are trying to basically, just like a used car dealer,
Yep.
trying to get price stuff fairly reasonable cheap because they know they can exactly profit off the resale. So This will make a good truck for somebody down the road, but right now, so just to reiterate on this tanker that it is replacing, it is a Warren County mutual aid truck for tanker assignments throughout the whole county and Saratoga County. So this truck is used throughout the whole county. So
Well, yeah.
it definitely needs to be updated. And then, like I said, we've done our due diligence to build our truck fund up to only have to finance a certain amount of money and not take the whole finance out. So
And there's plenty of places around, right, where you can't hook up to a hydrant, and you need a truck like that to bring that water in.
correct.
Yeah.
And the town for that matter.
Yeah. Thank you. Answered my question.
Any other questions for members of Wisconsin Fire Department while they're up here? Any questions from the public? Another opportunity before I close the public hearing? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion to approve, please.
Second.
Motion made by, not congressperson yet, anyhow.
The guy in the end.
Councilperson McNulty, seconded by Councilperson Ferone. Roll call vote on this, please.
Councilpersons Benavir,
Yes.
Freer,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
McNulty,
Yes.
Carl.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you much.
Thanks for all the work you do for West
Yes,
Country.
thank you.
Thank you.
I'll relay that message when I see it.
Good, thank you. Wait till you see the signs open. Get them ready.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, 3.1, there was a request by Paul Derby to pull that. It appears that Solitude Lake Management has some more information it needs to find out before it finalizes this. It'll be back before us on March 20th. So let's go to 3.2. Introduce that to the public, please, Betty.
Resolution authorizing purchase of protective industrial products clothing from Airgas USA LLC.
All right, well, we shop around, and this is the lowest quote. We need 70 cents of clothing, which includes shirts and hooded sweatshirts and coats and so forth. And this is for a total of $16,237. 3.3,
Resolution authorizing change in comprehensive telecommunications services renewal contract with First Light Fiber.
all right. Our IT coordinator and budget officer, Barbara Kearney, arranged that to have StoreTech review our telecommunications. Where could we save money? And they said, well, they reviewed the whole situation, and they said you can save money here, you can save money there. So one of the things is to renegotiate First Light's contract. We did. So now it's a contract charges that changes. It was $3,397.20 down to $2,292 monthly for a savings of almost $40,000 over the next 3 years. 3.4.
Resolution authorizing technical services change order number 3 regarding professional engineering services of CT Mill Associates related to NYSDEC groundwater testing review and summary.
And this is with CT Mill. We've asked them to do a few extra things for us in that they've been involved in meeting preparations. They've been involved in grant funding, exploring other sources for grants, and they've been doing more technical review than originally planned. So we had a contract with them to do that for $50,000, and they said, well, you're asking us to do more, so they're asking us to adjust that by $24,000. So change it from $50,000 to $74,000 for the extra work we're doing. 3.5.
Resolution to amend 2022 town budget.
It's a lot of changes, but it's just changing it from where we didn't need it to where we do need it. 3.6,
Resolution approving audit of bills warrant 0307 2023.
and a total of $1,155,952.16. Okay, those are the resolutions before us tonight. Is there any member of the audience, the public, that wishes to speak to any of the 5 resolutions before this board tonight? All right, seeing none. Any town board thoughts, questions, or roll call requests? I did before.
I would just like to say, I mean, kudos to Store Tech and Barb. I mean, how often we sit in here looking at, requests for expenditures, but to have a savings of almost 40,000, that's very good.
It's a good thing. And, and someday, we'll have a good conversation about the efficiencies that this town board has gotten so that our budget and our tax rate is one of the lowest in the capital regions. We need to explain that to the public, but we'll wait to do that another time. Okay, if there's no further conversation on those resolutions, I'll entertain a motion to approve 3.2 to 3.6.
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Freer, seconded by Councilperson Menavere. Roll call vote on 3.2 to 3.6, please, Betty.
Councilpersons Freer,
Yes.
Ferone,
Yes.
McNulty,
Yes.
Stroud,
Yes.
Menavere.
Yes.
Any correspondence, Betty?
Yes. Correspondence in regards to the supervisor of water position. There was a email from Dorset Neighborhood thanking Highway and Water Department for clearing snow, and in the supervisor's report for February 2023.
Thank you. All right, next on our agenda is privilege of the floor. If any member of the public wish to speak about any town topic with the town board, this was your opportunity to do so. Is there anybody here that would like to talk to the town board about any town topic? Okay, seeing none, I'll move on to town board discussions. Let's start with Councilperson McNulty.
Nothing tonight, Jim.
Thank you. Councilperson Ferone.
I don't believe I have anything tonight either, thank you.
Councilperson Freer.
Okay, I know we're trying to get out of here in the next 2 minutes, but I do have two things. One is Association of Towns training. There's more water testing being developed by the state for these forever chemicals, so more to follow on that. But I did talk to Chris Harrington. He's aware that they're going to add some more forever chemicals to the testing. And then secondly, I attended an energy storage webinar that the state folks suggested, and it's energy storage is coming to us, and we're going to have to work with the fire department so that we don't explode things if there's trouble with energy storage. But it's something that the state just said they wanted to have double their energy storage up to 6 gig by 2030, which originally they were just talking about 3 gigs. So mostly downstate, but eventually it'll flow up here.
Have you reviewed the model law yet?
I asked the lawyers, and I got a note back from Jackie, so she's taking a look. The Association of Towns has a model law, and they suggested that we don't add it to our solar ordinance, so they're working.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Supervisor, if I could interrupt you for a second, there was someone who was online, had their hand raised. I guess they had a question.
Stuart Allen.
I guess.
There we are. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Stuart.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience. I apologize for the delay. My name is Stuart Allen, and I live on Glen Lake. And I understand you have postponed Resolution 3.1 regarding the contract with Solitude Lake Management. I understand that. However, I would like to go ahead and speak to this contract, even though it has been delayed as a sign of good faith. I would like the company to hear what I have to say as well as the town. So if you will indulge me for just 3 moments, I would like to speak to that. May I do so?
Go ahead, Stuart.
Thank you. As I said, I'm Stuart Allen. I live on Glen Lake. I have spent much of my life on Glen Lake. I am a volunteer for the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. I do water quality testing in the streams going into Glen Lake. I am also a member of the Glen Lake Protective Association Environmental Committee, where I also serve. I'm very concerned about Glen Lake as well as our other lakes. I just wanted to speak to you for a moment about that important topic. I know that all of you are also very concerned about water quality, as we must all be. New York has 7,400 different lakes. About a third of them are in the Adirondack Park, but only a few dozen of them, such as Lake George, get special attention and funding and conservation efforts. And that's very important. Obviously, we want all of our lakes to be in excellent condition. That is very important. But the fact is, the vast majority of our 7,400 lakes in New York State do not get a lot of attention, like Glen Lake, for example. I assume you are aware that last Friday, just 3 days ago, a judge determined that it would be unlawful for the Adirondack Park Agency to apply herbicides into Lake George. And one of the reasons that the judge made that decision was because the APA did not adequately inform the public by holding a public hearing on the matter and allowing the public to voice their concerns and ask questions. Public education is very important, and I appreciate the tremendous leadership that the town of Queensbury has demonstrated by placing these meetings online, as you are doing right now, and listening to public comment as you are doing. I have thanked you for this before, and I would like to thank you for it right now, because it is very important. Open government is extremely important, and we need to do more in this regard. However, the topic right now is about the Solitude contract. I want to speak to that because there were two major concerns here. One of them was that Lake George is a source of drinking water for many families, and applying an herbicide may put them in danger. Another reason was because of concerns regarding the herbicide itself and the potential impact it can have on humans, animals, fish, the environment, etc. So those were two important reasons that thousands of people voiced their concern about applying herbicides, and it was ultimately turned down. Now, the contract here for Solitude Lake Management uses also a chemical application, and the public is not being given the opportunity to be educated about what the exact treatment plan is. Even as a member of the environmental committee, I have no information about what is the exact treatment plan, exactly what chemical will be applied, where and when. And that's a problem. Many people on Glen Lake have asked questions about exactly this issue over the years, but we can't get clear information. And that's very unfortunate, and that needs to change. It is a fact that Solitude Lake Management is an enormous chemical, is a division of an enormous chemical company. They have incredible resources. If you look at their YouTube page, which is just one of their social media pages, they currently have over 150 presentations about various lake maintenance concepts and services that they offer. 9 of those presentations on YouTube were recorded in the last 2 weeks. So they seem to have unlimited funds to market themselves. But what we would like to see is them to do a presentation to the Glen Lake community on YouTube to explain exactly what is the treatment plan, what chemicals, when, how, where, why, and what is the underlying rationale. This information is not available to the public. It may be available to 5 people, but it is not available to the 700 or so people that live on the lake, that swim in the water, and to the dozens of families that use Glen Lake as a source of drinking water. That is a problem. It is very simple for this company to do so, as they did recently in Lake Luzerne. The town of Lake Luzerne required them to give a presentation to the community about the proposed treatment plan and allow the taxpayers to ask questions and have the experts address their concerns.
Okay,
We are asking,
Stuart,
yes,
I got your point.
I'm almost done. May I have one more minute?
Yeah, well, I think your main point is you would like to see an informational presentation by Solitude and others as to the chemical treatment to the lake and the potential impact so that the public is better informed.
That is correct. There are
Okay,
two.
I will work on getting that going, okay, Stuart? I'll see what I can do.
If I may have 30 seconds, 2 concluding comments. Number 1, the presentation should allow for anonymous education. People should not have to identify themselves to a for-profit corporation. And number 2, the contract should specify that they will release the numerical results of the testing. How many parts per billion of the material is still in the lake? They have this information. They only typically release all clear, don't worry your pretty little heads over it, you don't need to know the details. So
Okay.
those are the two requirements we would like to see. Thank you very much for your time. I
All
appreciate
right,
your
thank you,
patience.
Stuart, but they can't remain anonymous for the very reason that you complimented us on our openness is the reason why we have to maintain that openness, and we cannot allow people to speak without being identified.
Right.
I will
right.
work on this. Thank you, Stuart, for your suggestion.
Thank you, Mr. Stroud. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, so. All right,
Tony, you had to finish,
I
Tony.
have nothing, but thank you.
nothing for Tony and nothing for me. All right. Motion to adjourn,
I'll move it.
moved by Councilperson Medevere, seconded by Councilperson Freer. All those in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Adjourn.
I will.